Good morning, dear students. So, our chapter is 16th group elements. The main heading is the P block elements. It consists 15th group, 16th group, 17th group, 18th group in our syllabus, in our second year syllabus. Right? 15th group has been completed Vittal sir, has completed Vittal sir. So now I am going to start 16th group elements. 16th group element generally we call it as chalcogens. Chalcogens, that means ore forming elements. So most of the elements in earth crust, it is available in the form of oxides and sulfides, just like copper oxide, copper sulfide, right? So based on that one, the 16th group element generally we call it as chalcogens, ore forming elements, that means mineral forming elements. Minerals are available in the form of oxides and sulfides, that's why we are calling as chalcogens. Right. So the 16th group element, what are the elements in the 16th group? Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. What is the atomic number of oxygen? 8. So what you have to do? You have to add plus 8. Right. So what you have to add? 8, 18, 16 plus 18, 34, right, plus 18, right, plus 8, 18, 18, 34 plus 18, 52, then what you have to add? 32 plus 32 to get the atomic numbers of these elements. So oxygen 8, no need to by heart, just remember the oxygen oxygen atomic number, just add 8, that will give this sulfur. So add 18, that will give the selenium, add 18, that will give the tellurium, add 32, that give the polonium. So what is the meaning of this one? So in between oxygen and sulfur, there is a 8 more elements. 8 more elements in between these two, right? So what is the electronic configuration? General electronic configuration NS2 NP4, right? So if you take oxygen electronic configuration 1s2 2s2 2p4, so you can write it as a 1s2 as a helium, 2s2 2p4. Either you can write this way or this way, helium 2s2 2p4. So which one is the outermost electronic configuration? 2s2 2p4. So if you take the sulfur 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p4, right? Either you can write helium afterwards, which is a 0 group element, helium, neon, 18th group element, neon, 3s2 3p4. 3s2 3p4 is the outermost electron. So if you want write electrons in the orbital, 2 electrons, right? So one electron, fourth electron will come into the first one, right? So helium 2s2 2p4, neon 3s2 3p4, right? So always you can write the P is the, so many students generally do the mistake. P generally they will write capital letters, S, P, D, F. So all these S, P, D, F elements are small elements only. Based on this one, you can write the electronic configuration of selenium, tellurium, polonium. This one is the homework. How do you write the electronic configuration? I have given the Maillard diagram, energy level diagram. First electron goes to 1s, then goes to 2s, then goes to 2p, then 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 6s, 4f, 5d, 6p, 7s, right? 5f, 6d, 7p, 8s, right? So the p orbital starts from second one, the d orbital starts from third one, the f orbital starts from fourth and it consists of fifth one, again there is a decrease, right? There is an increase, again there is a decrease, right? So you can fill up according to Maillar's diagram. You can write all these three electronic configuration based on Maillard diagram or energy level diagram, right? That is the homework. So the next one is the occurrence. Only 4F and 5F, there is no 6F, because 4F generally it consists of lanthanides, 5F generally it consists of actinides. There is no more element, there is no 6F in the periodic table. So just you have already studied in the P1 chemistry, right? The next one is the occurrence, right? Oxygen is the most abundant element on the earth crust, right? So by mass it is a 46%, 21% in the air, 21% by volume in the air, 46% in the earth crust. So you have to remember this word, most abundant element on the earth crust. Earth crust means in the earth. So it is not directly available in the oxygen. It is in the form of different mixed oxides. That means copper oxide, right? So sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, it will be available in the form of different oxides. So if you take individual elements, the oxygen is the most abundant element on the earth. So what is the percentage on the earth crust? It is a 46%. What is 21%? It is in the air. This is in the earth crust, this is in the air. 21% by volume in the air. So sulfur is available in the percentage 0.03 to 0.1%. So sulfur is available in the form of gypsum. You have studied in the first year chemistry what is gypsum. Calcium sulfate 2H2O. Alkaline earth metals. You have studied calcium sulfate 2H2O. Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate 7H2O. Barite, barium sulfate, right? So all these are sources of sulfur. All these compounds are sources of sulfur. So volcanoes generally it consists of traces of sulfur, right? It also contains garlic, onion, hair, eggs, right? So when you cut the onion, right, so the vapor of sulfur, the component of sulfur enter into your eyes and you will get the tears, right? Due to the vapor compound of sulfur goes into the eyes, right? So that makes into the tears, right? That is calling as lacrimetric. Lacrimetric means it will, if you cut the onion, you will get the tears, right? Garlic, some different smell is due to it contains sulfur. Hair, right? So if you have hair also contains air, eggs, it contains sulfur component. Selenium and tellurium are found in the form of selenites and tellurites. Polonium, it is not directly available, so it is decay product of thorium and uranium. So these are the radioactive material. When these are disintegration, that means decay. It is when these radioactive elements, when these are converted into other radioactive elements, in those reactions generally it forms the polonium. So it is not directly available, it is decay of thorium and uranium, right? So these what is radioactive elements, there is a separate chapter, nuclear chemistry, that is not in our syllabus. Just you have to remember at this point, decay of thorium and uranium, you will get the polonium. Selenium and tellurium are available in the form of selenites and tellurites. This is the occurrence of oxygen. Occurrence means where it is available, right? These elements where it is available: oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. So then all these are general characteristics. Atomic and ionic radii. increases in the number of cells, generally atomic or ionic radii increases, right? Increases in the number of cells, increases the atomic or ionic radius from down the group, increases down the group. Why it is increases? Because of increase in the new shell. Suppose if you take the oxygen, so oxygen, what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p4, right? So this one is the nucleus, right? So this one is the 1s2, 2s2, 2p4, right? So if you go to sulfur 16, right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4, right? So this one is the nucleus, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4, right? So it consists of two shells, it consists of 3 cells. As down the group, so it automatically increases the atomic size, Next one, ionization enthalpy. So what is the meaning of ionization enthalpy? The amount of energy required to remove the electron is known as ionization enthalpy. What is it? Once again, the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron is known as ionization enthalpy. Suppose if you take oxygen and sulfur, right? So you should not remove the 1s2 electron, you have to remove the 2p electron, p electron. Which electron you have to remove? Either this one is the outermost electron, you have to remove either s electron or p electron. So you have to remove the p electron, right? So the p electron, how much energy is required to remove that electron is known as ionization enthalpy. So as the size increases, what happens? This electron is much more less attraction towards nucleus. So the ionization enthalpy will be very, very less compared to oxygen. Because of small size, the nucleus attraction towards the outermost electron is very more effective. So this one is a positive charge, electron is the negative charge. There will be always attraction towards nucleus and electron. That's why the removal of electron in the oxygen is difficult. Because of attraction is more, the atomic size is very less. As the size increases, the outermost electron is away from the nucleus, so you can easily remove the electron. So ionization enthalpy, which one requires more energy? Oxygen requires more energy, this one requires less energy to remove the electron. So ionization enthalpy decreases down the group, decreases down the group. This one is the first point. The second point, when compared to 15th group elements, right, 16th group elements are less ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy, if you compare to 15th group and 16th group, which one is more ionization enthalpy? 15th group is more ionization enthalpy than the 16th group, right? So why generally in periods the ionization enthalpy decreases from left to right, right? If you take the periodic table, right, the ionization enthalpy, if you take the periodic table, the ionization enthalpy from left to right increases because of atomic size decreases, right? So this one is a periodic table, right? If you go from sodium to fluorine, right? So atomic size decreases. Atomic size decreases means ionization enthalpy increases, right? So in the same way, 15th and 16th, compared to 15th and 16th is the less atomic size compared to nitrogen. Oxygen is less. But what happens due to off-field orbital, it will give the more stability, right? So what is the general electronic configuration of 15th group? So NS2 NP3, it consists of 2 electron, it consists of 3 electron, right? So you have studied in the first year, off-field orbital or full-field orbital. This one is the NS2 NP4, NS2 NP4. This one is the general electronic configuration of 16th group. So 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, 4th electron. So you have studied off-field orbitals or full-field orbitals are much more stable than the other orbitals. So the amount of energy required for this one is more compared to this one. So 15th group elements ionization enthalpy is much more greater than the 16th group elements. This one is the important point, right? Why 15th group elements is having the more ionization enthalpy than the 16th group? This is due to extra availability of off-field orbital is give the more stability to the 15th group. That's why more stability means you have to give the more energy to remove the stability is more. That's why you have to remove the electron that requires more energy. That's why 15th group is more ionization enthalpy than the 16th group. Next one, electronegativity. What is electronegativity? Electron attracting power. So fluorine is the highest electronegative element. So the second highest electronegative element is the oxygen. Second highest electronegative element in the periodic table. Second highest electronegative element in the periodic table. Second highest electronegative element. Right? First one, which one? First one is the fluorine. So what is the value of this electronegativity? 3.5. What is the value of electronegativity of fluorine? It is a 4. Right. So second highest electronegative element. So electronegativity generally decreases down the group. So if you go to oxygen to polonium, right? So oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. So what happens if you go down the group? Decreases electronegativity. Why it is decreases the electronegativity? Because atomic size increases, the nucleus attracting of electron will be decreases as the atomic, because the distance will be nucleus and outermost will be very less. So the attracting power of electron, if it is small, the electron attraction power is more. It can easily, because nucleus is a positive charge, it can attract the electron very effectively when the size is very small. When the size is big, the nucleus attraction will be decreases. So generally and also the metallic character increases, metallic nature as the size increases. Generally if you see the next one is metallic character. Decreases electronegativity due to increase in the sizes, increase in the atomic size. Right? The next one is metallic character. You know, metallic character generally increases down the group, increases down the group. That means oxygen, sulfur are non-metals, right? Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium are metalloids, selenium and tellurium are metalloids, right? Polonium is you can consider it as a metal. So what is the right metallic nature increases, right? Electronegativity. If they are asking electropositivity in the examination, if they have explained electronegativity. Suppose in the examination if they ask electropositivity, just opposite to the negativity, it decreases the down the group. Electropositivity increases the down the group, right? Negativity, positivity, both are opposite. So one is decreases the down the group, electropositivity automatically increases the down the group. So electropositivity increases, the metallic character increases. What is the meaning of metallic nature? What is the metallic nature? It can readily lose the electron. Why it is readily lose the electron? Because of atomic size is more, right? If atomic size is more, why it is losing electron? Because the nucleus attraction towards outermost is very less. If the attraction is very less, the electron losing power is very easy. So metal generally loses the electron very easy. What is the metallic property? Electron lose. Sodium, it loses electron very easily. That's why it forms as a Na plus very easily. It never forms the Na minus, right? Losing of electron, it is a metallic property. So metallic nature generally increases the down the group. So in the same way, non-metallic, if they ask in the non-metallic character decreases down the group, right? In the same way, melting points and boiling points. So generally you have studied as a molecular weight increases, generally these are increases. So down the group, melting and boiling point increases, right? Down the group, melting and boiling point increases, right? So generally the larger difference between oxygen is a gas, right? So the larger difference between oxygen and sulfur in the melting point and boiling points are due to their atomicity, right? Large difference in the melting point of oxygen and large difference between oxygen and sulfur are due to their atomicity. Atomicity means that means oxygen exists in the form of dimer O2. Oxygen exists in the form of dimer. Sulfur exists in the form of polyatomic S8. Right? Oxygen is O2. Sulfur is S8. So it is a diatomic. It is a polyatomic. Oxygen, sulfur generally it is you have studied in the 10th class. Sulfur is a crown-shaped molecule. So oxygen generally forms the dimer, right? It consists of 2 lone pairs, right? So nitrogen, 15th group, nitrogen, it forms it contains 1 lone pair. 16th group, oxygen, it contains 2 lone pairs in general, right? So 17th group, fluorine contains how many lone pairs? 3 lone pairs. 1 lone pair, 2 lone pair, 3 lone pairs, right? So how it is two lone pairs? How it is two lone pairs? Just write the atomic number. 1 is 2, 2 is 2, 2p4, right? These two electrons, single electron forms the bond with another oxygen, right? So these two electron, oxygen, right? I'm writing clearly because some people are always confusing why these are two dots, why these are two pairs, why not one pair, why not three pair. Always the people are confusing with the dots, right? So some people, I'm not saying all people, some students, right? So one electron, this one is a one electron, this one is a one electron, right? So these unpaired electrons, these one and these unpaired electrons can form the bond with unpaired electron of oxygen. So that will give the double bond. So how many pairs? This one is a one pair, this one is one pair, this one is a second pair, right? So this one is a one pair, this one is a second pair. In the similar oxygen, this is a one pair, this one is a second pair, right? These two. So why not you are taking the 1s2 pair? Why not you are taking the 1s2 pair? So when you write the structure, you have to represent the outermost electronic configuration. That means 2s2 2p4 only, 2s2 2p4 only. Suppose in the, again I am telling, so if oxygen forms two bonds, right? Always remember, if oxygen forms two bonds, no charge on the oxygen. If oxygen forms only one bond,